Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 55. Okay, folks, I want to jump right into it. I want to talk about the Eric Bledsoe situation. Apparently, Eric Bledsoe doesn't want to be in a beauty salon anymore, and he tweeted that out. Unfortunately, the Suns weren't buying it. They believed he was talking about the Suns team. So the Suns said, take your ass home, and they promptly fired the coach. What's his name? Watson? They promptly fired Big Head. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but he got a little square head. I always crack up on Earl Watson. I think it's Earl Watson. So, let me just jump right into it. Would I like the Knicks to make a trade for him? Yes. Yes, I would. Would I trade Billy Hernan Gomez or Frank Ntilikina? Hell no. I wouldn't even trade Damian Dotson for him. Why? Because Phoenix Suns have no leverage. You see, people talk about Carmelo Anthony and how the Knicks hurt his leverage. The Knicks did hurt his leverage. Phil Jackson really hurt his leverage. You know how he hurt his leverage? How he hurts Knicks' leverage? By giving him a no-trade contract. That's what hurts your leverage. Anything after that, you can only hurt it further. Not by talking about him, but if the Knicks had said, Melo, don't come to the team, we don't want to see you, that completely destroys a team's leverage. Because you're paying a guy who has box office appeal, but he's not playing. So fans are not going to come to see just this bum-ass team. At least they would like to see it Bledsoe because he's really athletic and exciting player. So you send him home. So you have no leverage. And if Suns are talking about we want this, we don't give a fuck what you want. You're starving. You're dying to trade this guy. Why would I listen to anything you say? You should be begging teams to take this contract. But they first thing they're doing is seeing if there's any dummies out there that'll deal with that. Also, I wanted to mention, this is one reason why I don't like tanking. You have a good player like Eric Bledsoe, who's been good since he's been in Phoenix, but he's been hurt a lot. And tanking has real emotional consequences, people. Players don't want to lose. They're busting their ass on the court. They're trying their best, and management's not trying to win. That shit is crazy. I don't know if you've ever worked for a corporation or organization where you care about the business more than the fucking owners. Come on. It just stinks when that happens. I've worked for companies like that where I'm busting my ass and I'm like, yo, they don't even care. I'm doing extras for no reason. And then the next thing you know, they want to trade your ass or get rid of you. So the reason why I'm saying this is because people think that tanking is good route for the Knicks to go. Now, there's two ways to tank. Again, you try to win. You put players in a position to win, and maybe they're not good enough. And then in the second half of the season, when you know you're already out of contention, you start to sit players down, or you play the young players or whatever. Therefore, you're going to lose more games, and you're still going to get a good pick. But this tanking business is nonsense. Everybody's talking about the Greek Freak, right? He was the 15th pick in the draft. Steph Curry was the 6th or 7th pick in the draft. Russell Westbrook was the 4th pick in the draft. None of them was the number 1 pick. Anthony Bennett was the number 1 pick. Oladipo, I think he was the number 3 pick or 2 pick or something in the draft. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The year he got drafted, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was number 2. Remember him? So if you don't have good management, it don't matter where you're picking. You have to have good management. Unless you have a guy like a LeBron James. Sometimes you get lucky. And you get a guy like LeBron James. And what did LeBron James do after a few years? He had to get the fuck out of Cleveland. Because he wanted to win. And that's how these young players think now. It's the only way you need a top pick. Now, this kid Porter's supposed to be good. But he's not LeBron James like. He's not Kevin Durant like when you knew he's going to dominate. And another reason why I don't believe in tanking, let's just look at Kristaps Porzingis' timeline. He's in his 3rd season. Most likely they won't make the playoffs this year, right? Let's say they're bad and only win 22 games, right? That's year 3. He needs to sign an extension in year 4. Let's say he does that. Say we draft a good guy. Usually, he's going to need at least 2 years to develop. So now we're asking Kristaps to not only, so third year's a wash, nothing happens. Fourth year, they're going to suck again. And then maybe in his 5th year, maybe they could be good. Because that's when they'll have cap space as well, in his 5th year. Let me tell you something. Watch that New Orleans situation over there. Anthony Davis wants to win. They got Boogie Cousins. I told you, this is the new NBA. They're going to have to make a decision with him very soon. And I'm not mentioning this for the Knicks because I don't want the Knicks to get DeMarcus Cousins, and not because of what everybody says. I don't think he's a good fit for the Knicks. He's a talented player. I think he fits with Boston even better. But they have to pay him the Supermax or a max deal. He's a free agent coming up. So if New Orleans are not in the playoffs, if they don't look like they're close to making the playoffs, they're going to trade him. And you're going to see more really good players get traded. And this is why you need salary cap space. You need salary cap space to be able to absorb a max player without having to give up max salary in return. Not really, you don't really need the money as far as signing free agents, because if you're a bad team, you're not going to get good players. Good players don't sign with bad teams, so you don't need cap space for free agents. You need them to absorb when you have a disgruntled player like, say, Eric Bledsoe. If the Knicks had cap space, they could have been like, we'll trade you a second-round pick, a couple of second-round picks for Eric Bledsoe. I know that sounds like a little, but I'm just saying this for argument's sake. Now, Jimmy Butler didn't get... The Bulls didn't get back much for Jimmy Butler. The Pacers didn't get much back for Paul George. And the Knicks didn't get much back for Carmelo Anthony. And all three of those players are better than Eric Bledsoe. No disrespect. Eric Bledsoe's very good, but they're better than him. If the Suns think they're going to get what they want after they sent that player home, it's just asinine. It's stupid. Now, I'll say this. What the Suns may do, if they're smart, they'll invite him back into the fold, bring him back to the team, do a kumbaya. There was a little misunderstanding. You know, we talked to him. He just was angry. We're back. We're playing. And let him play about 10 games, then look to trade him again. Then you might have raised his leverage because he does have value, because Eric Bledsoe is a very good player. He's a two-way player. He's a good defender, and he's a good offensive player. He's good. However, again, what would I give up for them? For him, I would not give up Billy. Hell no. And I would not give up Ntilikina. But we do have some ancillary parts that we could part with that make salaries that can possibly match up with Eric Bledsoe. And that would be Lance Thomas and Courtney Lee. I would package them two together with the second-round pick. And that's a lot. That's a lot, because I'm giving you two good players and a pick, second-round pick, but a pick in the 30s. So I think that's a good move if they're willing to accept that. Now, they probably don't want veterans. They just see, but there's a misnomer. Every team needs veterans. However, they think they want a young player. Who do we have in the D League? Because we're not giving you none of our good young players. Fuck you. You sent him home. So other NBA teams are going to say the same thing, like, fuck you. We're not giving you nothing. You sent him home. He's just sitting there getting free money from you. So if that's what y'all want to do, don't blink, because Phoenix, the Knicks, Scott Perry, don't blink. Don't offer them shit that they want. The whole market, trust me, is going to harden, and they're going to have to trade him for nothing. Or if they wait, they're only going to get second-round draft picks for him. So just want to say. So unless you have a team in a smaller market that thinks they need to give up a lot for him. I don't know about that. So then you have, now, again, that's why I'm saying I'm not down with tanking, you know, because tanking has emotional ramifications. What that does to a person who's good, a good player, wasting his years. You ever been in a relationship with someone, you know, and it's not working, and this is your prime of your life, and say, guys, for the guys, you know, women are giving you rhythm everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, women are flirting with you, but you're like, oh, no, you're in a relationship. But the relationship is shitty, and you want to get out the relationship so you can actually have a chance to get a good relationship. I mean, these are the ramifications of tanking, and that's how people feel. Like, why the fuck am I here? I'm busting my ass. I could break my leg tomorrow. I want to experience winning. Fuck all that shit. Dude is from Latvia. He not from New York. It's not like he has any ties here. You know what I'm saying? He wants to win. And for those who think that bringing Bledsoe here affects Ntilikina, it does, but in a positive way. First of all, I'm one of those believers, if you're good enough to be on the court, it don't matter who's in front of you. They're going to have to move the fuck out the way if you're good enough. If you're not good enough, I remember Jay-Z said this I'm not going to quote his lyric, but basically the gist of what he was saying that other rappers were complaining that he's in the way, that he's still making music and he's blocking them from blowing up. And he was like, look, I'm not stopping you. If you good, you good. Take that spot. He took his spot. Drake made his spot. 50 Cent made his spot. That's how you do it in this world. You make your space. So if Ntilikina is good, we'll see it. But what I like about getting Eric Bledsoe is he's on a perfect deal. It would be perfect. It fits perfectly. He knows the system. It's plug and play. He played for Hornacek. They have a relationship. So you bring him here, you start him immediately. There'll be no pressure on Frank Ntilikina. He can come off the bench at the 1 and at the 2. He can come off the bench for 2 years, maybe a year, depending on how good Frank progresses. And guess what? Frank will only be 21 in 2 years. Eric Bledsoe contract will be up in 2 years. By then, he should be able to take the reins. Simple as that. I don't understand. It's no problem. It's perfect. It's perfect. While you're doing two things here. You're giving Kristaps a guy that can play with him, that can help the entire team, and then make them a better team. And you're giving Frank some leeway. You get Bledsoe, people are not going to think about Frank Ntilikina right now. They're going to be like, give him time. We could let him, just like Kristaps had time to get better under Carmelo. Well, this is a win-win to me, to get Bledsoe. Y'all want to just throw people to the wolves and just put Ntilikina out there. We don't care what it... No, I mean, I like that too, but if you have a chance to get a guy like Eric Bledsoe, we don't know if Ntilikina ever will be that good. And as far as Billy Hernangomez, what I like Kanter being him. Him being here for 2 years, guess what? Hernangomez is only going to be 24 at the end of that, at the end of 2 years. 24, 25, still a baby. And you know what? If he's on the bench because he doesn't play defense, leave his ass there until he starts playing defense. Because right now, he's a low-post dinosaur center. And he's not as good offensively as Kanter. So it's not like he's killing the world offensively either. He's a really good rebounder. But let's not get so caught up on how good Billy Gardner. You know what it is? I think we put Billy because that's Kristaps' friend and that's his buddy. And I think we kind of lumped them together. They're nowhere near the same in talent. It's not even close. Don't even fool yourself. We don't have 2 franchise players. We have 1. Billy is a role player. At best, he'll be in a rotation. At best, he may be a starter if the other positions are really good. But if he can't guard the pick and roll, if he can't play any defense, and his offense isn't elite, because again, Kanter's offense is actually elite. If you look at the numbers, and you will see, and you saw a little glimpse of that in the last game, he's a load. If he's not scoring, and he's just rebounding, and he's a defensive liability, nah, man, he can't be out there. Let's be real. The best defensive center so far we had is O'Quinn. Hate on O'Quinn, but he's balling out. And you got to respect, listen, when a player in the offseason works on his body, works on his game, and comes back ready, you got to let him play. You can't be like, nah, man, we know you worked hard and lost all that weight and got yourself in shape to be a good player, and we're just going to sit you because we want Billy to get... No, motherfucker. You reward people who work hard. Why you do that? So other players can work hard. Billy can't feel like he's entitled to the center position. No, you're not entitled to homeboy. No. Even his Spanish team sat him down. He played like 2 minutes in one of their games. I like him. I'm not low on him, but my thing is I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not a Billy Hernangomez fan. You know, people get romantic about that shit. Fuck that. Earn your spot, dude. If you good enough, you bust his ass in practice. You bust ass in practice, you'll get your ass on the court. It always happens. That you hear every coach say the same thing. Oh, why is this guy getting time? Because in practice, this boy. And I know people say, you're talking about practice. We're not talking about Allen Iverson level type player who doesn't need to. Like somebody like Kristaps, you don't care what he does in practice because he's already proven himself. Billy, come on. It was the end of the year that he did. We got to see. And if you can't get past Kyle O'Quinn, dude, I don't think you deserve to get on that court yet. I'm sorry. This ain't fucking Little League where, he's on the team, so he has to play. Get the fuck out of here. You're getting a salary. You're on a pro team. We got you. You're a part of our future, but you got to get your shit together or you'll get traded. Now, would I trade just Billy Hernangomez to get Eric Bledsoe? I would have to think about that because that would leave us in a little bit of a precarious position because the problem with Cantor is if he lives up to his deal and plays really well, let's say he opts in, he's at max level, and I don't think he's a max level player. I don't think he'll ever really be a max level player. And that leaves us in a conundrum to sign him back with $20-something million per year. I don't know if we want to do that. So keeping Billy is cost effective. That's why it's hard to trade him. Even though we got Noah, who's not playing, and O'Quinn, you cannot trade Billy just for that reason. You have to hold on to him because you really don't have any cost effective player. So would I trade, unless I was thinking I'm gonna have Bledsoe for the long term, I don't trade Billy because I think Billy's here for the long term. And that's what people got to understand. Billy may be here for 10 years. This will be a blip on the radar. But I guarantee you, if Billy does make it back to the court and starts playing really good defense, he's going to be thanking Hornacek. I thank him for being hard on me. I wouldn't have been the player I am today. Always keep that in mind. He's only pushing him to work harder. This ain't an attitude thing. No, dude, you're not good on defense right now. And your offense is nowhere near as good as his. Why do you think, who finished the game that last game? O'Quinn. Did he hurt the team? No. So anyway, but we need a player that can break down the defense because what happens is, if you saw in the first half, the Knicks were moving the ball, moving without the ball. That became harder. When that becomes harder, you need your second level, which you need a player who could break down the defense. And so far, Hardaway hasn't shown the ability to do that. We know Sessions can't do that. And Kristaps can kind of do that at his position, but he's not a playmaker. So what do you have? So getting Bledsoe would be the perfect situation. But again, it's early. Phoenix is drunk right now. They're thinking they can get something big for him. Let them wait. Give it another. The best case scenario for them is they trade him within a week, Bledsoe, or they bring him back into the fold and let him play to possibly drive his trade value up. Other than that, you're getting a bag of peanuts, homeboy, Mr. Sarver at the Phoenix Suns. So anyway, that's my take on the Eric Bledsoe thing. I think it's a perfect fit. Again, I'm not giving up any of my assets. I'm not giving up first-round draft picks. I'm not giving up Frank. I'm not giving up Billy. That's not happening. That's not happening. I'll give you Lance. We can replace Lance. We can replace Courtney Lee. I might give you O'Quinn. Would I give you all three? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. You got to give me something back if I give you that. And I don't know, they don't want veterans. And I would feel bad for Courtney Lee to send them to the Suns too, but that's just how it goes. And they want young players. I don't know what young players. Should we check in the G League and see who we have there? Because you're not getting any of our... You're not getting Damian Dotson, who I like. You're not getting Ron Baker, who I wouldn't mind giving up, but I'm sure you don't want his ass either. And Hornacek is in love with him, got a man crush on him. So he's not going anywhere. So, like I said, I got those guys and that's it. That's it. Teams are not going to offer much to Phoenix unless you're a fool, unless you're foolish, unless you have a big injury. And as long as there's no injury and as long as he's sitting home while your fans want to see something happen, good luck with that. Anyway, this has been a short version. I say short, I still went 20 minutes, right? This has been Knicks Home Court, episode number 55. I'm your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. Enjoy the game tonight. I didn't do a preview. I'll do let me see if I could do I'll do a minute preview. First of all, I think that the Knicks against Boston tonight, two things can happen. The Knicks, I believe, have a chance in the game because Boston's still learning its parts. They're not the defensive team after getting rid of Crowder and Bradley. And I think the one negative thing about the Knicks is that they can catch some of these new teams off guard. However, the Knicks are a new team as well, so it's going to be a little difficult. It's a difficult game to win. Don't expect to win, folks. But, again, you never know what can happen. The Knicks are hungry for a win. They might be focused for more than 2 quarters. Who knows? They can get blown out or maybe they might win. I really can't tell you. But one thing I see, Hornacek might play Porzingis at the center, and I don't think we should adjust to other teams. We need to start letting Kristaps, if they want to play small, years ago in the NBA, you never adjusted. If they wanted to play small, let Kristaps abuse whoever the power forward is. I think Jason Tatum's going to be power forward. Let him score 50 on him. Yeah, I know it's going to be hard for him to get. I know he can't guard Jason Tatum. But Jason Tatum's not going for 40, not going for 30. Or at least I don't think so, even though he's good. But anyway, let's hope we get a Knicks win. But like I said, Knicks might be able to catch them off guard. We'll see, because it's the new look Celtics. They playing a lot of young players, as well as the Knicks are. And the Knicks should be hungry for a win. And you know what? By the way, expect a big game out of Tim Hardaway tonight. I think he's going to have a big game tonight. I think you're going to see why we signed Hardaway. I believe so. We'll see. Anyway, it's been Knicks Home Court, episode number 55. My name is Greg Armstrong. Peace, everyone.